the midst of Sony XM6 and AirPods, Bose gave us the QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation. Well, the name's accurate, if a bit boring, and that's the main theme of these headphones. They're not very exciting, but that's not a bad thing, and let me explain why. Back for round 2 is the deep ear cups, light mass, folding design, substantial padding, and 0 ingress protection rating. Though there are more colors now with the metallic arms, the form of the new QuietComfort Ultra headphones is largely the same as before, with minor tweaks here and there. Like last time, the comfort is quite good, and long-term listening sessions are relatively painless because the headphones manage their weight and seal quite well. There isn't much for hair to get caught on, and even wearing glasses, I didn't notice many issues on my commutes. The controls are still weird, with an odd mix of capacitive touch controls and the buttons that do too many things at once. Seriously, folks, don't combine your power button with functions beyond toggling pairing. We all like the minimalist design, but we have to use these damn things, okay? In terms of features, the Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation mirrors the older cans. Gee, you think? The same app with the same features and the same extra modes and the same user interface. Still no hearing tests, still no low energy goodies, and nothing really to write home about. But sometimes you don't want to think about your headphones all that much, and for many, that's a big plus. There are a couple upgrades like improved ActiveSense, a feature that blunts loud noises while you're using the transparency mode, and a new immersiveness mode called Cinema, meant to enhance your movie watching experience. I can see this one working well on an airplane, but as I haven't yet liked a Bose immersive audio mode yet, it didn't shock me when I didn't like this one either. It's borderline impossible to de-Christopher Nolan any movie without the master stems, and that typically isn't available over streaming, so it's not like these cans are going to work any magic here either. Perhaps the biggest changes to the QuietComfort Ultra's design are the connection options. By adding USB-C audio, you can bypass your computer or smartphone's internal DAC and use the headphone's internal stack to decode a digital signal losslessly. That's great. Though it doesn't mean a ton for most people, having this ability also means that some other rough edges fall away. For example, you can listen to music with your headphones as they use the computer to charge, or you can shave tens of milliseconds off of the inherent latency of Bluetooth communications. While most people who go wired still prefer the USB option, the older analog connection is useful for older source devices and airplanes. I'm pretty happy with this turn of events, even if it seems small, because it means you don't have to settle for wireless at all times. You can choose and have clear benefits for any choice you make. It's not a situation where you're forced to live with limitations. And despite Bose upgrading to Bluetooth 5.4 here, we're still met with the same family of codecs. If you have a newer Android device that has a Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 or newer, you can enjoy the best that aptX has to offer with aptX Lossless, aptX Adaptive, and aptX Low Latency, should your phone support it. For those going on long flights or commuting a ton during the week, the battery life of the Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation is roughly the same as the last generation with ANC enabled, just over 27 hours in our testing. Now, for context, that beats the AirPods Max handily by over 7 hours and falls short to the Sony WH-1000 XM6 by 7-ish hours, squarely in the middle of the pack. Now, those of you who need a set of headphones to last through the workday might be interested to know that the mic of the new headphones is similarly good to the last generation, more than good enough to handle common noisy situations. If you'd like to hear for yourself, we simulate office noise, street noise, a reverberant space, and wind in our labs, so check out the full review below for samples. Because the Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation has a similar fit to the originals, it's not surprising to me that they isolate you from noise similarly well. Additionally, the ANC unit is able to reduce the perceived loudness of outside noise by an average of about 87%. Bang on the money for other top-tier ANC headphones. But what's interesting to me is that Bose claims it's not stronger, it's more precise, which leads me to believe that there's some extra processing going on that wasn't in the release materials or the documentation. In my experience, these headphones definitely do the trick, and even when wearing glasses, I had no trouble with the SkyTrain, or subway for you non-Vancouver folks. There's a bend out by where I live that I lovingly call the Screech Zone. That's an excellent test for ANC headphones because it's enough to overpower popular models like the Sennheiser Momentum 4 Wireless, but the top-tier ANC units really get a workout with that noise. If that's a test, Bose passes. This is part of the review that most people tune in for, and I gotta say, yeah, still not a fan of the sound here. While the near lossless listening is a comforting thought, the tuning of the headphones isn't really my cup of tea and is often a bit on the dark side for me. Normally, bass emphasis is something I'm pretty tolerant of, but the highs just don't do it for me either, and the low mids just make certain sounds come across as more dull than they should to my ears. Most people should find the sound of the Bose QuietComfort Ultra 2nd generation to be fine, but after testing 2 separate units and getting a little bit of trouble for each, I'm stumped as to what would make anything better here. Normally, the in-app EQ here would be the first place I'd go to try to balance things out a little more to my liking, but a 3-band EQ just doesn't cut it. Neither do the presets. If you like the sound, you'll be happy, but if you want to tweak things, these are not the headphones for you. After getting a good fit, re-triggering the custom tune, and priming the headphones for 30 seconds with noise and music, I saw a somewhat modified diffuse field response with the bass shelf. A safe tuning, just not what I and others like me prefer. You tend to get this kind of response with several other mass market options, including some earbuds like Bose's QuietComfort line. I'm sure that's not an accident. Companies with this much brand recognition tend to like using a sort of signature tuning, and Bose is definitely in that camp. However, in listener preference studies and in multidimensional audio quality scores, responses like these tend not to top the charts. I mean, it makes sense. ANC headphones aren't really known for their audiophile grade sound quality, but people also aren't going to put up with wild tunings when they're spending almost $500 on headphones. You'll notice that I didn't put the usual MDAX chart up here, and that's because we're in the process of upgrading a few things around here, MDAX included. Though we have preliminary results, any good data scientist validates their data set. So for now, I'll just leave it at the difference in projected sound quality ratings between Generation 1 and Generation 2 is not statistically significant. If you've got $450 burning a hole in your pocket, should you grab these headphones? If you absolutely need new headphones? Sure. Where the original Bose QuietComfort Ultra used to be some of the most expensive ANC headphones out there, prices for this category have gone up a lot this year, and Bose's only went up $20. So for the exact same price as the Sony WH-1000 XM6, you're getting a set of headphones that cancel noise comparably well, sound okay, and offer actual quality of life upgrades over its closest competitors. That said, take some time to figure out what's really important to you before making any decisions, because when you're talking about expensive headphones, $20 here or there really isn't going to be as important as missing a feature you need, platform integration, or the wrong kind of sound. These won't be everyone's cup of tea, and to be blunt, it ain't mine either. While I like the inclusion of USB-C audio, I don't appreciate the inability to make more granular changes to the tuning or care for the immersive audio features. Then again, I'm a guy that gets paid to stuff headphones and earbuds into a robot head for a living. I'm not exactly your average listener. If you want to learn more about the closest direct competitor to the Bose QuietComfort Ultra Generation 2, then you can check out my full review of the WH-1000 XM6 right up here.